So guys, I love you guys. A lot of you guys asked me, Dave, can you help me with question number 5? And last Saturday we didn't have time to actually take this particular question up. And I do want to take some time and talk about this whole random digits table because it was on the 2012 midterm as well as last year's. So let me take a few minutes here to make a video and kind of explain to you what this is, how it's used, and how we can use it to create a random sample. So what this random table basically is every number that you see are pretty much, think of it as the result of rolling a 10-sided die. Okay, so I mean, if you don't have a 10-sided die, there's no way for you to randomly generate a number between 0 to 9. Right? So what these statisticians have done is they've rolled this 10-sided die for you many, many times, whereby the first result was 9, followed by 6, 2, 9, 9, 0, 7, 1, 9, 6, so on and so forth. So as far as you're concerned, if you don't have a 10-sided die, you can use this table of random digits to generate a random number between 0 to 9. Okay. So let me sort of make up a simpler question, okay? Let's call it 5A. Okay. Instead of having, how many students do we have here? 13 names here. Let's simplify the question and make it such that we have 10 names. And I'll call them C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C8, C9, and C10. And we want to randomly say sample 5 students from these 10 students that are available in this particular class. Okay. And let's see, we are told to do this without replacement, meaning once we selected C1, C1 doesn't go back into the mix. C1 is selected, he's been included in our sample, and he stays in our sample. So the way we would randomly generate a sample of 5 would be, guys, I'm just going to relabel these to start from C0 and to go up to C9 only. Okay. So our sample would be, by following the random number table, we roll a 10-sided die, and the first number that we get is 9. Okay, so the first person that gets sampled is C9. And then we roll the 10-sided die again, and we get a 6. And the second person that gets sampled is 6. We do this again, we get a C2. The next number sampled is 9, but C9 has already been selected, so we don't sample anyone. Again, 9. C9 has already been selected, so we don't sample anyone. The next person is 0, so we sample C0. And then the next person, we sample 7. Okay. Until we achieve the sample size desired. We were looking for 5 students, and there we have it. The 5 students that were randomly sampled are C9, C6, C2, C0, C7. Okay. Now, coming back to the original question, where we now have 13 students. Okay, so right off the bat, there's a problem here. Okay. The problem lies in the fact that these random digits, the first digits, span from 0 to 9. Okay, so if we use the same technique, the 11th, 12th, and the 13th person will never get sampled. Okay. So what we need to do is we're gonna use 2 digits at a time. Okay, so if we get 96, 96 will correspond to some person here. And if we get 29, 29 will correspond to some person here. And after 29, it will be 90, 90, and 90 will correspond to sampling some person out of the 13 here. And then the next will be 71, and that will be some person over here. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to create a bucket, okay, for Kane, okay, so that if the two-digit number, okay, ends up being something, okay, then we sample Kane. If the two-digit number ends up being something else, we sample Caldwell. And if it's something else, we sample Campbell. Okay, and so on and so forth, all the way up to Clark, who's the last guy here. Okay. The way we do this is, well, what we want to do is, because we are sampling two-digit numbers, okay, we want to divide 100 by the number of students, and we get 7.7, which implies that we should have 7 buckets. Okay, or rather, I should say each bucket should span 7 numbers. Okay. So what this means is, if we get a number from 0, 0, rewrite that, 0, 0 to 06, okay, which is 7 numbers, right? We have 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, 0, 6, which is 7. Then we're going to sample Kane. And then if we get a number from 07 to 13, okay, 07 to 13 contains 7 two-digit numbers, we're going to sample Caldwell. If we sample, or if you get a number from 14 to 20, okay, we sample Campbell, and so on and so forth. Okay. So the range has been determined, and let's create the range here. Let's write it more closely. So for Kane, we have 0, 0 to 06, 07 to 13 for Caldwell, 14 to 20 for Campbell, 21 to 27 for Cardella, 28 to 34 for Carter, 35 to 41 for Chad, and for Charles it's 42 to 48, 49 to 55, 56 to 62, 63 to 69, 63 to 69, 70 to 76, 77 to 83, and 84 to 90 gives us Clark. Now, obviously, we're going to have some numbers left over, right? But as far as we're concerned, if those numbers come out, we don't sample anybody. Okay. So, if we look at the random number table, okay, the first number we sample would be 92 or 96. 96 gives us no one. The next two number we get is 29. Okay, so 29 is here. So that gives us Carter. The next number is 90. The first 9 here, and then the 0. And 90 gives us Clark, because Clark is between any number between 84 to 90 sampled, gives us Clark. So we get Clark here. And then we have 71. 71 here. And 71 is Chowdhury. And what's next? After 71, we have 96. And 96 is no one. And then we have 98. 96, and then 98 here. 98 is no one again. After 98, we have 64. So 64 is Crystal, because any number between 63 to 69 is Crystal, or Chisholm. And then after 64, we get 2 and a 2. So we sample 22. And 22 falls into Cardella's bucket. Okay, we sample anything between 21 to 27 is Cardella. So we get Cardella. Okay, and Cardella is going to be our 5th student's sample. Carter Clark, Chaduri, Chisoldt, and Cardella form a completely random sample chosen from 13 students.